My name is Solomon. Millet, sesame, soy, orange fresh sweet potato. The Nutrition Innovation Fund, we handle Nutrition Challenge 2 that concerns access to diversified food or nutrient-dense food. And the innovation, the novelty here is that we bring different food new ingredients which are already rich in certain nutrients, and then we consider the recommended dietary allowance for children under 2 years, and then we composite them, and these have high energy protein and essential fatty acids and micronutrients, which with prolonged consumption can lead to energy protein balance and then improve growth. We know that at that age the demand for nutrient is increasing, and so this is the focus, and bioavailability of nutrients, of course, is going to improve micronutrient. We know that plant-based complementary food, which is common in northern Uganda and in many parts of Uganda, have issues of bioavailability of nutrients. So we handle this when we make our composite for complementary feeding. We also we are improving already preferred cereal-based composite, which means that acceptability and other concerns are not to be raised. But how different is it from other ways that chronic malnutrition is being tackled in the target location? First of all, we use local food materials which are already accepted by people, which means that getting the raw materials for making the composite is not a problem. Secondly, we rely on the synergistic effect of blending nutrient-rich foods, which is compared to other products that are in the community. People just pick 1-2 things and then they mix. But we chose foods that are already rich in certain nutrients, and then we want to use their combination to tackle chronic malnutrition. And there's also local processing method, as I talked about. Of course, we use processing methods like malting to improve bioavailability and remove anti-nutritional factors, and because we use this local processing method and together with the people in the community, the issues of acceptability is not to be questioned. Composites can also be used by many as compared to other innovations that are in the community that targets a particular group. While we've designed this as a complementary feed for children, but as we will see, our minimum viable products is even liked by women. So we want to target other groups using the same complementary food. It can't be taken by other people. So this is part of the novelty of the product. Next. So what is our pilot plan? Of course, the objective is to introduce and promote the use of millet, sesame, soy, orange fresh sweet potatoes composite to address chronic and micronutrient malnutrition among children and women of childbearing ages with the following activities, key activities. Train beneficiaries on local production and safe handling and storage. Issues with utilization of complementary food concerns the safe handling and storage, which our project intends to handle very well with the beneficiaries. Cost benefit training on production as a business, because we want to promote this as a business among the beneficiary community. Of course, cost benefit analysis with those that we will have already selected from those trained to do it as a business, there are those who will be entrepreneurial. And then we want to now do cost-benefit analysis with them and support those selected business entities, such as women group, private sectors, to do this as a business. But we'll also do cross-monitoring if this is during the project period. So we target children 6 to 23 months, pregnant and lactating mothers. As I said, that this complementary feed has the novelty that it can be used by other people as well. So we target also pregnant and lactating mothers, which covers their 1,000 days of life. We intend to do this in 10 months. And of course, potential risk includes poor handling and rationing, which we will intend to handle during the training. Next slide. Sustainability will be ensured using training, production as a business training, using a 2-tier system. 2-tier system, we train local women producer group to handle local markets. We know that the second one will be private sector to tackle conventional market. The 2-tier system has the advantage that the local processors, the women group, are going to most likely, when they have the product in the community, we know that in the community, the way people access food, sometimes using barter trade, sometimes using exchange and the rest of the thing, while private sectors are profit-oriented and sometimes may not may charge costs that are too high for people to access this. Those entrepreneurs will be supported during the project, like linking them with producers of those ingredients like orange fresh sweet potatoes, and then on good training on good handling practices and storage. Entrepreneurs. What I would like to let you know is that Gulu University has a community engagement functions that supports nutrition sensitive businesses time and again, with or without this pilot project. They always attached for 2 months to organizations within the refugee settlement. There's a possibility that this can do follow-up for women group and entrepreneurs who are trained to foster this kind of innovation. Next. Yes, our team is composed of the ones you see there from 2 carefully chosen departments from Gulu University. 1, Department of Food Science and Post-Harvest Technology. That has a technical grounding in product development and evaluation, and have developed several nutritious products targeting different nutritional challenges. Very much the product, the millet sesame soy product, and this is what we want to enroll to the Rhino camp, knowing that micronutrient deficiency coexists with chronic malnutrition and actually tends to worsen the situation. So thank you very much, and I welcome comment.
Thank you so much, Gulu University. A round of applause. It's time for questions. Due to time, we will take 1 or 2 from our jury.
Thank you very much for very interesting presentation, and it's great to see project idea which is very much rooted in the local resources. So I wanted to ask, first of all, I see that you are targeting the right groups, but how many women and children do you plan to reach through this project? And who's going to provide this entrepreneurship and business model trainings and coaching to your groups?
Yeah, thank you very much. So we intend to reach, initially we have stages where we select beneficiaries, 200 women of childbearing ages. We train them together in local production of these composites. And then out of those 200, we will select about 40 who are entrepreneurial. And then, of course, we'll give them time to show interest in in moving forward this product. And then we'll continue to provide them support during the project. The team that is going to provide entrepreneurial training, I made mention that we are from 2 complementary, carefully selected departments at Gulu University. One department is rural development and agribusiness that have promoted a number of micro enterprises, farm-based enterprises, nutrition-sensitive ventures in the refugee settlement and in the community in northern Uganda, and will be the ones helping us to train on agribusiness and on carrying forward this one as a business and also entrepreneurial skills improvement. But of course, we are open to, as I said, also to private sector. But we know that we'll support the private sectors with entrepreneurial skills, and then their contribution is mainly to make sure that they have the capacity for year-round production of this complementary food. And if I could use a chance also to say that the reason we chose a 2-tier system, because the private sector has the capacity to have the product all time of the year, because the producers are a business. When we train women group entrepreneurs, women producers, they can produce, but we know that the challenge sometimes is the production. However, we chose them because the people interact in the food system that sometimes your neighbor has this composite and you can get by giving something else. Although we'll also, the focus is on them getting the income, but the other focus is that they sometimes could barter this and then and the rest. So this is our choice of the 2-tier system for sustainability. And I hope that I answer you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. Any other question?
Yes, thank you very much, Gulu University. I have seen your presentation, but when you look at the scope of work, the distance from Gulu University to where the camp is, my worry is on the cost that I see you putting here. Are you going to do a lot of work as budget neutral? Because I just see 174 million Uganda shillings for doing all of that work.
I've
I'm saying the cost, the proposed budget, and when you look at the scope of the interventions that are being proposed, how are you going to manage that?
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said, Gulu University has a community engagement functions, and all the time we're in the refugee settlement. And so we make use of the existing functions of the community engagement of Gulu University. And then two, this product is not at initialization stage. The product is already there, and the next thing is that we do the training. We don't expect that the training is hand-on. The training, we go with the ingredients, we do the training as actually the final point is the development of the product. And concerning the processing methods that we chose, like malting and roasting and the rest, to improve the nutrient content of this product, these are things which can take a week or so. When we can do malting in about 48 and 72 hours, and then we have the flour. So the training takes about 2 weeks, let me say, to a month, and it's possible that we can do this. Of course, the cost, I know that it is. The Link team said we revise this, but what we proposed, the 50,000, we think that we can offer the product to the community and promote. And actually, it is not that we want to buy the product and give to the people, but we want to train the people to produce the product. So thank you very much.
An addition from one of them.
An addition to the question regarding the scope, how many people you intend to reach, and your response was from the 200 women of reproductive age, you eventually reach 40, right? So from your last submission, the whole scope here is beyond the training, and that's why I think the concerns around the money, the budget as well, because you haven't brought out clearly how the children 6 to 23 months will benefit, how the pregnant women and the lactating women will benefit. It doesn't stop at training. It's how will you impact, how will your project impact to reduce chronic malnutrition. I think that's lacking a bit. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. First, where the beneficiaries who are selected are going to be pregnant and lactating mothers, and then women of childbearing ages who have children in the 8 categories that we are targeting. So when we train them to produce this in the community, we shall also, as I said, the product can be used by many people. We shall also train them on how to ration for a particular age group so that the recommended dietary allowance or the contribution to recommended dietary allowance is handled. Of course, the question of the budget comes in, and while we think that this can introduce and promote the product, maybe the length of or how long we do it is a question, but as I said, we also rely very much on Gulu University community engagement functions. That is time and again in the refugee settlement on other agenda. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause. Thank you so much, Gulu University, for that great presentation. We'll move right to the next presenter, and we have, no. It's a clap from Lee, thank you. We'll move to the next presenter, WHH. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome WHH.
Thank you very much. I'm presenting for Voltunga Hilfe together with our partner SafePort. We are proposing a solar drying project that will be implemented in Rhino camp for a period of 12 months. And our budget request is $100,000 plus our own contribution of $11,400. Next slide, please. So the persistent challenge that we see in our projects in Rhino Camp is low dietary diversity. And in some of our surveys, we have tried to show that this is mainly because of poor preservation of vegetables and fruits. And that is why we are proposing a solar drying project that will increase the preservation of vegetables and fruits. And we will use the expertise of Jakana Foods Limited, which is a private sector company that will come in to build the capacity of our target groups in solar drying, packaging of their vegetables. And this will increase or respond to the challenge of malnutrition in Rhino Camp by increasing accessibility of vegetables and fruits, even in the dry seasons when there is scarcity. It will also help to improve the frequency, the diversity, and also the nutritional quality of meals all through the year. How innovative is this? Solar dryers are new to Rhino Camp, but also this innovation is unique in a sense that it brings in the expertise of a private sector company that actually has the experience of installation of solar dryers, but also they have experience in producing high quality dried products. Next slide, please. So where do we see this going? We envision that people in Rhino Camp are able to produce and also process dried products to improve the dietary diversity of their households, but that they can also be able to get some income from selling the excess of their products. We target to work through care groups, 8 existing care groups already established by our partner CEFOD. A care group is a standard social behavior change approach or model that targets households with children or households with people in the 1,000 days bracket. Our activities will respond to 2 key objectives. The first objective is to increase access, availability, and utilization of diversified nutritious foods. And under this, we will provide agricultural inputs and good agricultural practice training. We will also install the solar dryers, and we will conduct trainings in post-harvest handling, solar drying, and packaging. Nutrition education we shall also do, and cooking sessions specifically. Each of them will tackle the usage of dried products. The other objective is to increase economic opportunities, and we will do this through market linkages, and also organizing groups into VSLAs, or Village Savings and Loans Associations, and we will conduct financial literacy trainings. The risks that we anticipate for this is 1, low maintenance of solar dryers in the long run, food contamination, and selling of the whole produce instead of consumption. To mitigate this, we will have MOUs with farmer groups entailing the different responsibilities of each member. Then we'll have trainings on food handling. We'll also have nutrition education on the use of dried products. What will happen after the first phase of our pilot phase? We expect that households will continue to produce, consume, and package, and also sell some of their dried products, and specifically that they're able to access finance or have financial access through the VSLAs so that they can be able to maintain the solar dryers, and also through linkages to private sector companies whom they can contact to purchase replacement materials for the solar dryers. But also because we are using the care group approach, we expect that there will be a spillover effect to other community members, and when they sell their products in the local markets, that other communities or communities within the camp can be able to access these products. But also we shall link them to other private sector companies who have, and some of them have already shown interest in purchasing the dried products that our target groups will produce, as long as they are produced in good quality. The champions in the pilot phase will receive additional training and support in processing high quality powders in the next phase. Next slide, please. So now I'll talk a little bit more about our team. Voltunga Hilfe has a strong food and nutrition security experience in Uganda, but we have also had operations in refugee settlements in Rhino camp, refugee settlements in West Nile, including Rhino camp, since 2014. And our local partner, CEFOD, is a national NGO that was registered in 2000, and they've been implementing projects in West Nile, also in Rhino camp, projects in nutrition, livelihoods, governance for both host and refugee communities. And Voltunga Hilfe, together with CEFOD, have jointly implemented in projects that have a nutrition component since 2019. Jakana Foods brings in the experience and expertise of solar dryer installation and also food handling. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. And now we'll go into the Q&A from the jury members.
I think I had already made the comments that the linkages of what need to be seen quickly on the children and women continuous remises in all the presentations. And I hope maybe as we do the final, then all those who will pass through the final screening should really take deliberate effort to ensure that as we do fruits and vegetables, for example, drying, so what to the nutrition outcomes of the children. I mentioned dietary diversity for the women, minimum dietary diversity for the children. Those areas need to be seen in the final document. Then the issue of nutrition education, we have moved away from nutrition education to behavior change communication. I would be happy to see when we are talking more of behavior change communication, social mobilization beyond nutrition education.
I thank you so much for the presentation. I like that you intend to use the care group approach, and the focus will be on the 1,000 days, which that means mostly the pregnant, lactating, and the children 6 to 23 months. When I look at the dried fruits, imagining this child 6 to 23 months with, a weakling teeth, trying to chew that. Maybe with the vegetables, we know it will be boiled or, cooked. We also need to look at the nutrient loss when it comes to the post-harvest handling. Then, and again, you talked to one of your risks was around contamination, and we know there's really aflatoxins, and among other contamination issues really that influence food safety. So really just to be cognizant of that. And I agree with Charles that the linkage, yes, you're going to have this innovation, and it's really good to sustain, for example, year in, year out vegetables and fruits. But again, yes, you even mentioned that diversification. What happens to the other foods? This should really be complementary, I could say, to, during especially the dry days. But we know during the other one is wet season, right? Yeah, the rainy seasons, we know there are fresh fruits and vegetables with, good nutrients out there. So really the linkage, but I like the project.
No, thank you for the presentation. I think it was very clear to me. I think what I would, what didn't come so clear is, what my colleagues have mentioned, the behavior change aspect, especially as you improve the financial literacy, because it is a project that includes in a lot of marketing and stuff like that. So the behavior change for optimal nutrition is what was not well stipulated. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just maybe I can give a quick response, and then if my colleague Mike also has additional responses, then she can. One is for the behavior change. Is Voltunga Hilfe right now implements social behavior change activities in Rhino Camp. We have a nutrition activities that are integrated into farmer field school, and we use social behavior change approaches to do that. So as we do the nutrition education, we shall take that very in consideration. But also, because we are targeting care groups, the linkage to the mothers, of course, the care groups constitute mothers, pregnant mothers, children below 2 years, and also lactating mothers. So we believe that the vegetables will be consumed by all classes of those classes. The other question on was on what? Yeah, there were really comments. Yeah. So otherwise, yeah. So that is the idea. The training on post-harvest handling will also include food handling, safety for food to ensure that they produce quality, preserve the nutrients are not lost, but also that there is no contamination to create any health effects for them. So the solar dryers that we are going to install are not going to have any kind of solar system. They are using the direct sunlight, using direct sunlight to dry the vegetables. So there will be no complicated solar system thing. Yeah.
So thank you, Esther. Maybe I can add on the solar dryers. So the solar dryers that we use, what we felt was unique about them is that we know the issue of food contamination on self-built solar dryers, but Jakana Foods, they are supplying here in Kampala, and they are certified. They are using those very dryers for their products, and they are going to teach us what kind of products to use, how to source them, how to do the food handling. So there's a lot of experience there where we hope to tap into, so that some of those issues, especially on locally self-built dryers, are not going to come up. Maybe I could add on this.
Otherwise, thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. Thank you very much. No more questions. We will go right to our last presenter, and that's Smart Foods Limited.
Hello, good evening. My name is Martin Sally, the CEO and founder of Smart Foods Limited. A little bit about Smart Foods Limited. It is a food processing company which really focuses on developing new products, majorly from soybean plus other cereals, with the focus of being able to improve the nutrition of our people in the rural area, but also those in the high-end markets. And okay. I can be speaking in the meantime. You paused it.
So, a moment. Yeah, we will be projecting the slides shortly.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So we have proposed a specific intervention which is focusing on groundnuts, soy, and mukene powder. This comes from the lessons which we have learned in our work over the last 10 years. I've personally worked with over 2,000 households in the country, training them on how to utilize soybean in their own households. And here what we have always been doing is we train people on how to make soybean flour and then how to incorporate it in beans in different sources that they consume every single day. However, the key challenge which we have had is in terms of adoption and having the soya powder being used every single day. After the training, it's always dropped and not done effectively. So in this initiative, realize that we need to have a carrier for the soybean powder so that we can have effective enhancement of nutrition in different households. And our innovation right now, we're focusing on the soya powder, how it can be incorporated in what people are already consuming, which is actually the groundnut sauce, and then blending it with the fish powder, mukene, which people already consume a lot in the country, and having a composited sauce that is going to be able to focus on children, lactating mothers, and the pregnant mothers to ensure they have dietary diversity, and then there is improved nutrition each and every day, whether it is morning or lunchtime or dinner time. And through this product, like what you see already blended here in front of us, we want to ensure that the product is able to meet the minimum RDA majorly for protein, minerals, and vitamins. And we know that groundnuts have been traditionally used, like in the plumpy nut, to be able to commended by the UN, WHO, and World Food Program, majorly, and it's also very effective when a pregnant woman consumes it. It's very effective in the neural outcomes of the children at the end of the day. And it's highly recommended also for infant children and also the lactating mothers too. And now, as Smart Foods, we also developed an instant soybean powder which comes with the seasoning added to it, and this has 55% protein. This, which we also have actually a patent pending for, we have put in a patent application, but this powder will also be infused into this specific product and shall go further to fortify it with minerals and vitamins so that we can be able to ensure that these children who are below 2 years, the pregnant mother and lactating mother, is able to have a well-balanced mineral and vitamin blend to meet the recommended RDA and also have the minimum protein required for them. We know that, for instance, a child who is below 2 years is about 12.1 kilograms, and he needs or she needs about 16 grams of protein every single day. So just giving them 50 grams of this powder as a source, you are able to go above their minimum requirement every single day, and this will be a very good solution for these children. For a mother, she will only need about 60 to 80 grams of this powder every single day, and this will be able to further help in the nutrition and also the nutrition outcomes ultimately. Next. So our plan is to go out there and test for the product acceptability and the willingness to purchase this nutritious product. We have already done sensor evaluation of the product. It's well balanced, well optimized. However, we want to go into the communities and test it further with these households, with the women, with the children. We are targeting at least 100 women, 100 households with kids under 2 years, and also 100 lactating mothers. And our activities, you set up a small production unit to run product demonstrations, test acceptability, run quality tests, do behavior change promotions within the communities so that they can be able to adopt this, and then also setting up selling units within Kyaka and recruitment of village agents who could be actually the VHTs that we can be able to use to take this product down to the people. This we expect to do over the next 6 months. And in terms of sustainability, one, the recruitment of the selling agents and the use of existing associations, the care groups, and the VHTs, training them and be able to use this, and then setting up a microprocessing unit finally in Kyaka. This will help us to ensure that there is sustainability and a full rollout of this project, and it can continue running even after the 6 months. And then we hope to also be able to reach out to caregiver institutions and CSI institutions. Many times, some of the corporates do not even know what to give to these refugee areas. So this product, when they know about it, then they can also bring in money to purchase it for these people, while these people are also already use it, but then those who can't really afford, who can be able to speak to other people, be able to contribute it for them. And also donor agencies can be able to use as one of their key product intervention packages. So the cost of this per kilogram is about 7,000 shillings, and we hope to be able to sell it from our side at 10,000 shillings. But then through the project, we want to look at what would be the smallest sizes, which we can be able to sell to the people, that they can be able to afford effectively. So we're looking at a small pack of 250 grams, which will cost about 2,500, and our agents may be able to sell it at 3,000 shillings to the people in the Kyaka community. Continue. Next. So our team is led by myself. I'm a food scientist, and I have a master's in technology, innovations, and industry development. I'm a chartered marketer and also have an MBA from University of South Wales. I am a 2015 Mandela Washington Fellow. I'm a 2018 TEF Fellow. And I was the Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2010 and also 2018 African Entrepreneur Award winner. So I have 13 years experience in running this and 12 years international experience in food marketing. So the chairperson of our board, Hilda Karamaji, has 25 years FMCG experience and should be key in helping us develop the right business model, which will ensure sustainability. And then the chairperson of our board is actually Professor Belt Atukwase, who is the head of the food science section in Makerere University, and he's also part of this project, and his experience will be key in ensuring that it can be able to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Smart Foods, time for questions from our jury. Any?
Thank you, Smart Foods, for bringing the issue of the complementary foods. But still, my question still goes back the two universities, Guru and Makerere. I see your figure of the expected resource use is continuously small. Was it intentional, or when finally you go through, how will you maneuver through the process of the financing? That should be at the tip of your...
Thank you so much for your presentation. Kindly share the existing platforms that you intend to use to reach the target audiences, looking at the 1,000 days, and then what is the linkage between the selling agents that will be trained, that I'm sure are on your side, and the target community in terms of beyond the selling of the product? Because I think the linkage you are having, you train the agents, and then they'll be able to sell the products to the what? To the target audiences. But then how do the community then benefit in terms of sustainability and scaling up the project or the idea? And again, what platforms are you using? Are you going by household? And then what is your scope in terms of the coverage? Yeah, thank you.
And maybe just to ask a very simple question. Who is the food for? Who's going to consume it? Because it's not indicated here on your package. There are no details about who actually can eat this sauce. Thanks.
As I pass it over, why only protein dishes? 2 plant protein sources and 1 animal. The product development, just some insights.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, I'll go straight on the business model. Actually, we do not want to use our own staff. We want to go down and identify people within the camp that we can train, that are knowledgeable about the area, that are knowledgeable about the people, are knowledgeable about who are the influencers. We want to get the key influencers really on the ground. And these are the people that we want to employ to be able to move the product to the people. So we don't want to come people from Kampala, but we want to focus on the people down there. And then in terms of marketing, we want to use more of direct and personal marketing. That if it's house to house, we can do, our model is to, because if you use the people in the community, and the VHTs really move from house to house selling the product. But then in our plan, we wanted to have also people to move, about 5 of them to move with small speakers with recorded messages talking about the benefit of the product, and position them in different areas within the camp where there's the collections of people, that they can keep on sharing the message and people coming in to buy, and then also being able to make a further reach out. So it's really more of a guerrilla marketing kind of strategy which you want to use with the people on the ground. And in terms of the scope, because we have been given the scope of the refugee settlement, and so when we get to the ground, with the people, we shall be able to crystallize where are we going to begin from, who are the biggest influencers, and how can we be able to get the fastest results within the refugee settlement area. So that will be very much dependent on what we see on the ground. Then we innovate on the ground on who are the best influencers to be able to push the product to the next level. Because one of the challenges which we have had before was that in the people have asked me that why isn't this on the normal market already? One reason is that if you go to Search, Seka, or Rhino, and you just put this product there, people will just look at it because they do not know the value and the benefit. But then with this kind of project intervention, we're able to focus on the key vulnerable groups, and then if we have the information and communication coming through, then we can be able to send the message home. So the missing bit on the package, that was an error on our side, which we should, as we go on, we shall be able to improve it and also be able to get the most appropriate and low-cost packaging for this product to ensure that the people can be able to afford it at the end of it all. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Smart Foods Limited. Yeah. Oh, there is a question.
Okay, I'll ask one last question on behalf of the online, please. Is the sauce meant to be blended with water, and what is the shelf life?
Oh, thank you for that question. Wonderful question. We know that fish powder has a very short shelf life. So what we have done in our innovation process, we have added an antioxidant to it, which is able to prevent the oxidation of the fish powder. So it's able to give it a 1-year shelf life in this product. So in the preparation, you only need to get about 100 grams mixed with also about 200 mils of water, make a sauce, and then be able to boil it for only 15 minutes and serve it. There was a question about why the 3 proteins. One, we know that fish is a very complete protein in terms of essential amino acids. And then the groundnuts have already a local adoption that every household, people enjoy them every single day. So we felt that it would be a very good base to be able to anchor the delivering of protein to the communities. And then finally, protein is one of the key, a kilogram of meat goes for 15,000 shillings, fish 20,000 shillings. So, and many of these are fresh. It's hard to keep them for a long time. With this product now, you have good shelf life, and then it's also much lower cost compared to other protein sources. Yeah. This will be attained during the project because we want to set up a small unit which will be able to help us attain this. We haven't yet. Well, the good thing that the standard for the product for groundnut paste is already there, so we can easily be able to work with them when we start. Yeah.
A round of applause for Smart Foods Limited, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of the pitching event. The LIMS team really appreciates everyone for participating, both physically and online. And just before I invite the person to close, I would like to remind you that we have forms where we are asking if you have any questions to write it down, and please hand it to one of us, one of the Response Innovation Lab team members before you leave. Thank you very much. I take this opportunity to welcome Dragana to officially close the event.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank our finalists. I I have thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon because it has been so great to see, first of all, such a good mix of representatives of private sector, non-profit organizations, and academia. And it was great to see ideas that are rooted in local resources, ideas with some really good business models, ideas that really can bring and address this issue of stunting and malnutrition in the way that we would like them to be addressed. However, as colleagues from the jury mentioned, it would be good to first look and see how do we make these direct links, because sometimes we could see that links are implied, but maybe they are not completely clear. And I think that would be good to clarify in the next phases of your project. And then secondly, I think that there is a lot of potential to think about some of the joint partnerships, combining some of the good ideas so that children and women in these refugee camps actually have the best possible interventions. And finally, looking into really potential for sustainability and for scale, beyond just small pilots. Even though some of them maybe will not be happening, but take these projects forward. I really do hope that both Response Innovation Lab and not only Save the Children, but all of us here, including colleagues from the jury, that we will continue this dialogue and collaboration and working jointly on different projects in the future. That would be really exciting. That would be different from what all of us individually usually do. And focusing again on our main goal of reduction and prevention of stunting. Secondly, I would like to thank colleagues from jury for great questions and dedication and listening and maybe challenging the ideas, but only with the intention to make them better, to make them more adequate for the problem that we are trying to address. And of course, also thanks to our donor, Innovation Norway, who is actually helping us to make all of this happen. So I would like to wish good luck to all of you. We will see what the jury will come up with as our final result. And as you have already heard, there will be further conversations and collaborations in trying to perfect these ideas. But thank you very much. It has been very inspiring. It has been very enjoyable to listen to you and to also see the passion that you are investing into this work. Looking forward to our collaboration in the future. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone. And Sol has something to say.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. As the Response Innovation Lab, we are going to continue organizing these events, and feedback is very useful to us. We have these feedback forms. We need you to be very honest with us and not brutal.